Dear students, in today's class, you will get knowledge about the limitations of Freundlich adsorption isotherm, isobars, absorption isobar, and application of adsorption, adsorption in solution phase, thermodynamic application in adsorption, catalyst, positive catalyst, negative catalyst, promoter, Poisson, etc. So, let us discuss one by one about that, and these are the topics which are very easy only for the purpose of your knowledge, and you will write in your notebook it. That's why I am discussing with you the facts line by line through this YouTube class. See here, limitations of Freundlich adsorption isotherm. Freundlich adsorption isotherm fails at high pressure of the gas, therefore this relation is considered as approximate and is applicable only at low pressure. Because I am discussing about the adsorption isotherm, means iso means same, or therm represents here the temperature, means at constant temperature the adsorption at constant temperature with variation in pressure, and in that case at high pressure the Freundlich adsorption isotherm will not work, therefore this relation is considered as approximate and is applicable only at low pressure. Because when you will see the graph, you will find that at low pressure it is approximate straight line. The graph of x by m versus pressure represents a straight line at low pressure. Now, adsorption isobars. The graph between extent of adsorption and temperature at constant pressure is called adsorption isobar. Means iso means same, bar means pressure. यहाँ पर प्रेशर कांस्टेंट और टेम्परेचर विल डिफरेंट, मीन्स ग्राफ इज बिटवीन x by m and temperature. We have learned that with the increase in temperature at constant pressure, the extent of adsorption x by m will decrease. However, this is true for physical adsorption. In case of chemisorption, the absorption initially increases with rise in temperature and then decreases. These two facts are shown in the following figure. The figure makes your concept very clear, that you will find that, see here in this diagram, you find that the adsorption isobar for physical adsorption, means physical adsorption, it goes on decreasing when temperature is increases, but in chemisorption or chemical adsorption, it is clear from the graph that at first the absorption, case of adsorption increases, but after that when temperature increase it decreases. See here, this shows that decreasing order. So this is about the absorption isobar. Now this behavior this behavior in chemisorption is expected because, like all chemical reactions, some active activation energy is required. Means expected because all chemical reactions, for all chemical reactions, some activation energy is required for chemisorption. As temperature is increased, adsorbate molecules gain energy and become equal to EA, so that proper bonds are formed when the adsorbent molecules with the adsorbent molecules. Therefore, initially amount of gas adsorbed increases with rise in temperature. Further increase of temperature will increase the energy of molecules, which have already been adsorbed. This would increase the rate of desorption and therefore increase the extent of adsorption. मीन्स कहता है कि पहले कुछ देर एनर्जी जब हम बढ़ाते हैं तो वो एक्टिवेशन एनर्जी का काम करता है, एक्टिवेट करता है मॉलिक्यूल्स को. बट आफ्टर दैट द इंक्रीज इन एनर्जी will break the bond with chemical bond between adsorbate and adsorbent, and so a case of adsorption decreases when it is temperature is increased or at high temperature. The adsorption isobar graphs can be used to distinguish between physical and chemical adsorption. See in the next page. Here adsorption from solution phase. This is just like absorption of gas on solids. Solids can adsorb solute from solution. The brown color of raw sugar is removed by animal charcoal. Similarly, the litmus solution when shaken with charcoal becomes colorless. The following observations have been made in the case of adsorption from solution phase. The extent of adsorption depends upon the concentration of the solutes. The extent of adsorption also depends upon the nature of adsorbent or adsorbate. The extent of adsorption decreases with increase of temperature. The extent of adsorption increases with an increase in surface area of the adsorbent. The precise mechanism of adsorption from solution is not known. Freundlich isotherm or equation obtained from the adsorption of gases on the surface of solid adsorbent is see in the next page, is also approximately applicable to the adsorption of solute from solution with a difference that instead of pressure, concentration of solution is taken into account. Hence, adsorption isotherm for solution may be represented by the equation just like this. In place of P, here it is C because it is a solution. Taking logarithm of above equation becomes like this. Plotting log x by m against log c, a straight line is obtained which shows the validity of Freundlich isotherm. From the graph, the value of 1/n log k can be calculated as slope. 1/n and log k can be calculated as slope and intercept respectively. The equation can be tested experimentally by taking solution of different concentration of acetic acid. For this, equal volumes of solution are added to equal amounts of charcoal in different flasks. After adsorption for a fixed time, The final concentration is determined in each flask. The difference in the initial and final concentration gives the value of X. Thus, using above equation, Freundlich adsorption isotherm can be verified. Now, applications are very easy. It is used in gas mask. It is a device which consists of activated charcoal or mixture of adsorbents and is used for breathing in coal mines to adsorb poisonous gases like CO, CH4, etc. Control of humidity, it absorbs water, and this means removal of coloring material as brown sugar is made white, production of vacuum, separation of inert gases. A mixture of noble gases can be separated by adsorption on coconut charcoal at different temperatures. Froth flotation process means sulfide ores get stuck with the pine wile as adsorbent. Chromatographic analysis, it is used analytical industrial field and curing diseases, so like this. So it has adsorption has many important applications. Now about the next lesson, that discuss the conditions to be adsorption spontaneous. Delta G must be negative, that is their decrease in Gibbs energy. Delta S should be sufficiently negative so that delta G will be negative. Delta S should be positive, which is not possible in this case. Hence delta S must be negative, so that with the help from this equation you can find that delta G is equal to delta H minus T, is delta H will be negative here. Then because delta S is not positive, delta S may be negative, generally negative in the adsorption, because it is an exothermic reaction. So it becomes, this term will become positive. So delta H must be negative, so that the overall value of these things should be negative, so that from thermodynamic, according to thermodynamic principle, delta G must be negative for the continuous adsorption process. In an adsorption process which is spontaneous, a combination of above factors like delta G negative make delta G negative. As adsorption proceeds, delta S becomes less and less negative. Ultimately, delta S becomes equal to T delta S, and delta G becomes 0. At this stage, equilibrium will attain. Note: it may be noted that in exceptional cases, chemisorption may be endothermic. The example of H2, for example, H2 adsorbs on glass endothermally. In this case, split hydrogen H2 split into H atoms on glass, so that delta S is sufficiently positive to overcome the small positive enthalpy change, that is T delta S should be greater than delta S, so that delta G will be negative. In magnitude it should be greater. Catalyst: substances which alter the rate of chemical reaction and themselves remain chemically and quantitatively unchanged after the reaction are known as catalyst. मीन्स कैटलिस्ट का कोई रिएक्शन किसी के साथ में वो अनचेंज रहेगा रिएक्शन में, और विच इंक्रीज द रेट ऑफ रिएक्शन, तो उसको हम लोग कैटलिस्ट कहेंगे. कैटलिसिस: द phenomenon of increase in the rate of reaction with the help of catalyst is known as catalysis. Note: it may be noted that a catalyst may increase or decrease the speed of a reaction. So see here, positive catalysis: if a catalyst increases the rate of reaction, it is called positive catalyst, and phenomenon is called positive catalysis. Similarly, similar is the case with negative catalyst. If a catalyst decreases the speed of a reaction, it is called negative catalyst and the phenomenon is called negative catalysis. Example, oxidation of SO2 to SO3 in the presence of V2O5 in the contact chamber process by which sulfuric acid is prepared. You will read it in P block elements is an example of positive catalysis. However, the decomposition of H2O2 in the presence of acetanilide or phosphoric acid gets retarded and is an example of negative catalysis. Promoters. Promoters are the substances which enhance the activity of catalyst, not the adsorption or reaction. In the Haber's process, for the manufacture of in the Haber's process for the manufacture of in the Haber's process for the manufacture of ammonia, molybdenum is used as promoters, which increases the activity of iron used as catalyst. See here in the example, poisons. These are the substances which decrease the activity of catalyst. Example, in the Rosen-Mund reduction, during the hydrogenation of acetyl chloride, palladium is used as catalyst while barium sulfate acts as poisons, which decreases the activity of palladium, so that product obtained from RCOCl means एसिटाइल क्लोराइड से जो प्रोडक्ट ऑब्टेन होगा उसको वो अल्कोहल में, क्योंकि वो एल्डिहाइड बन जाता है, उसको एल्डिहाइड बन जाता है, उस एल्डिहाइड को का रिडक्शन होने से अल्कोहल हो जाता है, क्योंकि एल्डिहाइड का हम लोग पढ़ेंगे आगे, अल्कोहल का एल्डिहाइड का रिडक्शन होने से अल्कोहल बनता है, तो इसलिए इसको कंट्रोल्ड रिडक्शन होता है. तो कंट्रोल रिडक्शन में कौन काम करता है? यहाँ में कैटलिस्ट, वाइल बेरियम सल्फेट एक्ट्स एज पॉइजन, यहाँ बेरियम सल्फेट पॉइजन का काम करता है. So this is about today's lesson, and you have to write also in your notebook about the homogeneous and heterogeneous catalysis. Homogeneous catalysis क्या है एक बार समझ लो. If the reactants, products and the कैटलिस्ट आर इन द सेम फेज, सॉलिड हो तो सॉलिड, सभी सॉलिड में हो या सभी गैस में हो या सभी लिक्विड में हो, उसको हम होमोजेनियस कैटलिसिस कहते हैं. हेट्रोजेनियस का मतलब रिएक्टेंट्स और प्रोडक्ट्स अगर सॉलिड है तो कैटलिस्ट लिक्विड होगा या गैस होगा, या रिएक्टेंट्स गैस है, प्रोडक्ट सॉलिड हो सकता है, कैटलिस्ट लिक्विड हो सकता है, कुछ भी, तो उसको हम लोग हेट्रोजेनियस, दैट इज नोन एज हेट्रोजेनियस कैटलिसिस. In homogeneous catalysis, only all the things with catalyst should be in one phase. So this is about